My name is Lynn Holiday, and I am Imlay City because I represent the Vlasic plant. I wanted to participate in the community storytelling project because I think it's important to understand the history of the Vlasic brand, which is very important to Imlay City. One of the unique reasons about being from Imlay City is that it is ultimately the home of the Vlasic pickle, which is a pretty fun story in itself. The Vlasic story started actually in the early 1900s with Frank Vlasic. He was a cheesemaker by trade and wanted to really build his business. He had an entrepreneurial spirit, but quickly realized that there was not room for growth in his home country of Austria. So he ended up moving to Detroit, Michigan, to be with a few of his other family members who were already working within the car industry, and also doing odds and end jobs with different businesses throughout their area. He ended up working for a local creamery after they found out that his background was in cheesemaking. And at that point, he started to really get involved within the cheesemaking business in Detroit. He quickly grew the knowledge base of the business behind the milk delivery portion, and soon took over the whole retail process of that business once his father, Frank, got sick with tuberculosis. At that point, Joe was really coming into his own and realizing that to be successful, he really wanted to make a name for himself. Because Joe was getting his name out there, he was approached by another creamery in Detroit to see if he could help get their struggling cheese business off the ground. Through that partnership and putting the Vlasic name on the cheese, they were able to start building more and more. So at this point, it was close to the World War II, and they ended up building a big distribution center where they were able to start servicing food service businesses. A Polish ham was one of the big things that they were able to bring over from Poland, and with that came the Polish pickle. It was pushed all around Detroit, and it was a very popular entity that came with the Polish hams. But when the war started, the imports from Poland stopped, and they were left with customers asking where they could get the Polish pickles from. They ended up working with a company out of Chicago that was able to replicate the Polish pickle. The only difference was it was in a glass jar, whereas the pickles from Poland were in tin cans. As they started increasing the distribution of the Polish pickle in glass jars, um, Bob Bob Vlasic stepped into the picture. So Bob is Joe's son, who was taking over the management of the distribution aspect. They didn't really think that the pickles in glass jars, was going to take off, so they weren't really prepared for the success that they were about to come into until they started running into distribution issues where they could not order enough of these glass jars with pickles in them out of the Chicago business. So they decided that they were going to start focusing solely on pickle production. This brought us to the late 1950s, when they started realizing that they needed to buy their own plants. So that's where the Imlay City plant came into play. Community involvement is very important to the people of the Vlasic plant. We have several different committees that are involved in community outreach. We do different events throughout the year. We help support. There's a fair that we sponsor every year, where the community can come out and participate. We have pickle eating contests. We provide pickles to the various sports, and there's a fun run that we support. There's various baseball and softball teams that will donate the pickles to try to get the best pickle brand out there and available to the public. I envision myself as the future of Imlay City because Conagra really believes in protecting and promoting the brand. Vlasic is a very old and trusted brand within the consumer base population. And it's really important that we protect that and we provide customers with the very best products that we absolutely can. And being in the Imlay City community, it really helps us ground and make sure that we're continuing to strive and putting our customers and our community first.